All right. Howdy there, folks. I'm Brandon Wenzel, and welcome to the introduction video to a project that I'm working on. I'm coming to you presently from a awful winter Wednesday out somewhere near Chicago, where I live. I'm presently in my living room. Not that you cared or needed to know that, but now you do, and you have to live with it. But that said, I'm over here. I'm got my Malta India for when you're feeling strange. Actually comes from a little Mexican fruit market. For a free plug, fruit market. Good job, guys. And if you ever get the opportunity, by all means, give it a shot. It's some pretty interesting stuff. But I'm sitting here, and there's this project. So obviously I'm being filmed by myself. I've got my Malta India here. Why do I have... Oh, that's right! Because this, unbeknownst to you, but knownst to me, is the perfect drink for Kung Fu! Or not Kung Fu. Maybe karate, or Muay Thai, or Keto, or Salat. Whatever. Whatever you're into, do what you love. Which is what this project, this thing that I'm doing right here, is all about. It's about martial arts. More specifically, it's about martial arts cinema. Which, if any of you, some of you who, hopefully will watch this, if you're not bastards and scoundrels, will watch this. If you know me personally, know that I'm a huge fan of martial arts cinema. And I decided to do this because over the past 3-4 years, as it were, I've amassed a pretty, you could say, substantial collection of martial arts cinema. As it stands presently, I've somewhere in the order of 600 films or so. Something like that. I literally have movies on the way that some of which will hopefully be here today. So, yeah, that's what this whole thing is about. I wanted to do a online video review project for some of these films. And so I'm sitting here and got my drink, I got some movies over there, and I've got my Bruce Lee shirt. Even got my Kung Fu pants on, aka my work pants. But they are actually Kung Fu pants. Don't ask me why I own Kung Fu pants when I don't practice Kung Fu. You don't need to know. Only I need to know. And I know, so I'm good. Work bases are covered. So, I'm going to try not to ramble on. That's what I'm going to try to do. So yeah, like I was saying, that's what this whole thing is about. And, this being the introduction, I'm going, introducing myself. I'm Brandon. How are you? But a lot of it, of course, is to declare my intent in what I'm doing and to give some specifics so that the future, if there are future episodes of this, that, I won't be throwing anybody a curveball, as it were. So, what I'm trying to do, already said, video reviews. But why? Well, I already told you I'm a big fan of martial arts, but I'm going to go into just a little bit. By the way, I'm going to try to be funny and witty along the way if I can. So, I'm just going to do a quick background. Because you might be asking yourself at home, you might be some smarmy bastard, and you're just like, hey man, what qualifies you being me, to go over there and talk to me, being you, about martial arts cinema? What, okay, so I'm gonna explain. Alright. First of all, I've been into martial arts cinema in one way or another since I was pretty young. If you're like me, which you're probably not, you probably have a better job and a better car and a spouse or significant other or something. Did that come off as bitter? But chances are you're not like me, but maybe you are. At least in one regard. If you're like me and you're born in the 80s and you grew up in the 90s, you might have been witness to the phenomenon, still going, but it really was a phenomenon, that was the Power Rangers. I mean, the original Power Rangers, with Jason and Billy and Tommy and Trainee and Kimberly and Zach. But, so, that's probably where it started for me. And I've been kind of going along since then, bits and pieces. But probably about 10 years or so, I'd say, ago. Maybe not, like 9. I really got into it, and then once I had a job and a car, I could actually, buy things and go to the places where I could buy these things. I went over there and, decided to really start getting into it. And I really do run the gambit on this stuff. I love wuxia, chopsaki, B-movies, A-list stuff, contemporary, period pieces, pretty much whatever, whatever I can get my hands on, I tend to be into. I apologize for my forehead, by the way, because I'm actually watching my tablet on this. Who apologizes for their forehead? I don't know. But it's part of the fun, I guess. So yeah. And this being my first video, this is the whole thing. My intention is hopefully, not too distant future. I suppose I could have done it now, but I just wanted to do this, get this out of the way. I'll download some editing, programs or something like that, so I can do this a little bit more professionally. Maybe even have like an intro or something. I mean, chances are if you're watching this, you've seen other online reviews. So something like that. So, like I was saying before, I've kind of gone from there, from Power Rangers to where I am now, 600 plus films or so. And so I really decided that I love these films, and I have a physical library of these films, and I have a mental library of information about these films, both through watching these films and just independent study that I've done. And I wanted an outlet to share it. Not only for myself, and part of it is, obviously is for myself, in that I wanted to go over there and have a way that I could express this that I don't really have in real life, because even though some of my friends do enjoy these films with me, it's definitely more my thing than theirs. And, so when I started looking into, the online community for this type of stuff, and found out that there were other crazy idiots like me, who really enjoy this stuff to perhaps an absurd extent, it definitely made me feel good, and so I wanted to do something like this, so that I could put something out there. And I hate typing and writing, so I didn't want to do that. So this is easier. A little. This is like my 5th or 6th try at this already, so maybe not. But, so, anyway, I gotta stop with the, first one, I'll get better. I was gonna say, right there. Okay, so, I've told you what I'm doing, what I intend to do, what I'm doing with it presently. I told you a little bit about myself and, some of my interests in these films. And so I decided, with this being my intro, with me wanting to convey this, I had to start off with a bang. And what was going to be not only my introduction, but what was going to be my introductory film. You know, what's going to be the first one that I do? Because it's gonna set the standard, right? Or standard, maybe? I don't know. But, you know, at the very least, it should be a damn good one, right? That's what I was thinking, anyway. And so, I really actually gave this some thought, because I wanted something good. And so I thought to myself, you know, well, I didn't want to do, obviously, like, you know, like the first martial arts film, you know, because I don't know what the hell that was, you know, unless I did a thing for Power Rangers, and even that I don't think was the first one that I saw. So, I decided to kind of go back, about 9 years ago, to a little film some of you may have heard of, maybe not, called Ong Bak, the Thai Warrior. And I'll explain. This movie was released about 9 years ago from Thailand, starring the amazing, utterly amazing, gravity-defying, earth-shattering, monk-spasming, I don't know, come up with your own fucking adjectives, Tony Jaa, who I cannot say enough good things about, and I will in my next video. I don't want to go too much into that just right now. But about 9 years ago, me and my friends walked into a Blockbuster, and we could pick out any 2 damn movies that we wanted because they had a monthly plan. And we picked up this one. This one. And I knew a little bit about Muay Thai before that, so part of the reason why I was, you know, really interested in this film. And upon watching it, I was found, days later with my brain leaking out of my ear from amazement. It really was, in all seriousness, I mean, every 15 minutes, I think me and my friends were just like, and how cool things were, you know? And, you know, part of the reason for that was martial arts films, kind of up until this film, for a period of time, had kind of taken, I don't want to say a bad route, but not my favorite route, is a better way to put it. After the success of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, obviously won a bunch of awards. I mean, if you haven't heard of it, what planet, what solar system do you live in? I mean, they get transmissions out in space, and it's been years. But these films really kind of took on a very stylized, wire-fu, you know, CG-happy environment. And, you know, you had, like, Hero, House of Flying Daggers, which are fine films. But for me, being, you know, in high school at the time, you know, I really didn't have the patience for most of this stuff. And it was enough was enough with it for me. And so in watching this film, it wasn't just that Tony Jaa was amazing, even though he is. And, you know, it wasn't just that, you know, it was a Thai film, which I'd never seen a film from Thailand, or any of the other things. The thing for me at the time that really set this movie apart was, here's this guy, you know, this little Thai man over here, and he's doing these things that, quite frankly, make other people, full-grown adults, look like children. I mean, just, it really, you know, it is, watching him was as amazing, watching him do the things that he does was amazing for me as it's gotta be, you know, for like a 5-year-old watching his dad drive a car. You know, that, it was just astonishing. You know, here's this guy doing this stuff. He's doing it, no wires, no bullshit, no CG. He's just kicking ass, and it was just amazing. And so that's why I chose this, because, and aside from that, aside from, you know, the reason I just said, the personal reason, I really do feel that this film had kind of a global impact on martial arts cinema from henceforth. And that being, like I said, really the transition from the hyper-stylized to the, you know, let's just call it the no bullshit style of martial arts cinema that, you know, has, I don't want to say necessarily taken hold, but definitely, I think definitely has a much greater standing than it did at that time. And mind you, just real quick, I don't want to make it seem like that Ong Bak invented that style. You know, you had Jackie Chan doing, you know, some of those things. But that wasn't really what was popular at the time. And this was really the thing that kind of kicked, or rather kneed, that out of that. You know, it just, you know, and I've even said, you know, that the kind of first fight scene of the film, where Tony Jaa just, you know, KOs this guy Pearl Harbor, you know, that was like the knee heard round the world for martial arts cinema, because it just, overnight, I really do feel, you know, I don't think that you would have had guys like Marco Zaror, or, you know, even Scott Adkins, or the return of Michael Jai White. I don't know that you would have had these guys doing what they do now, which is very firmly, I feel, within this range of things, if we would have continued along with Hero and, you know, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon style stuff. So, you know, aside from just my personal feelings, which are really all that matter to me, but to explain to you, part of the reason why I chose this, other than just, oh, well, this guy likes that movie, that's why he did it, which is probably going to be more or less my format for the rest of my films. Whatever, I don't care. Who cares about you? I'm doing this. But that was, you know, the reason why I chose this, you know, and I really did think about this, too. This, like I said, it wasn't a decision I made lightly, because I have a lot of films, obviously, and I love a lot of them, and a lot of them could have justifiably been my first video. But I really felt that this was the one that I wanted to go with. So that's pretty much what I want to say. I just wanted to add one quick little thing. I'm going to get out of it. I'm going to go ahead and sign this off. And that is that one thing I want anyone who watches this, if anyone watches this, to know, and even if you don't watch it, I might just do it out of spite to fuck with your head. So, who wins then? But I wanted any of you, spiteful or not, to know that, you know, I am, in watching these films, I'm going to watch them before I review them. Now, I've seen this film quite a few times, and I could probably recite the damn thing for you, but I am actually going to watch this film, not only because I love it, but because I really want it to be fresh in my head, so that I can give the best possible review. You know, and not only for myself, not only for this thing that I'm doing, not even, you know, but really because of the love and the respect that I have for these films, for these filmmakers, for the people in them, you know, the stars, the lighting guy, the gaffers, I mean, everybody who comes here to make these things happen. It's amazing. It's amazing. Enjoy it. Which is really the reason why I'm doing this whole stupid thing. It's just because I want to show my appreciation. I want to show my appreciation for these films, for these filmmakers. And that is fundamentally why I'm doing this. Not just so I can hear myself talk. Though that's part of it, because I have a sexy, soothing, some people say Seth Rogen-esque voice. So, that's why I'm doing this. I'm going to watch this here in a minute, and in hopefully an hour and a half or so, I'll get back to you folks. And hopefully this will be a lot of fun for me. Hopefully anyone will watch this and enjoy it. If you don't, like I said, I'll do it out of spite. I'm a hateful, hateful man. And yeah, I think that hopefully this started out well. So, that said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off with a kind of a format that I'm trying out as my ending format for these videos. And if you're a fan of these films, hopefully you'll get what I'm trying to do here. So, that said, I'm going to sign off because I am the moving target, known as the Mahjong Dragon, who is sworn to justice, and thus filled with rage and honor. For I am Brandon Wenzel, and I review martial arts films.